All right. I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. My name is Ralph Brandt. I'm the chair of the Multi-District President-elect Training. Uh,
Ralph, you're going to have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry.
I, so, okay, I should be unmuted now.
You are.
We'll try it again. I'm Ralph Brandt. I'm the chair of the Multi-District President-elect Training Committee, and I want to thank Denise for hosting this evening and welcoming you all to the first of our four pre-PETS sessions. We do this because this is a great opportunity for not only president-elects, but for any other Rotarian to learn so much about what goes on within your club, within your district, and how to manage things. So I would like to say that if you have any questions about any of the presenters tonight, as you go along, please put them in the chat. There, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you're going to notice a little icon that says chat. You can just write in there. Denise will be monitoring the chat. And then at the end, as time allows, we'll try to get to all the questions. Lizzie Martin will also be putting in a questionnaire asking for what are your thoughts about questions that you might have about mental health and diversity, equity, and inclusion, because we're going to have breakout sessions on both those subjects at Syracuse. So please feel free to take that questionnaire and enter any questions that you might have. If you don't know, each year the district governor-elects are the ones that plan the president-elect training seminar programs. So this year, from what's now, as of July 1st, will be the Central New York region, is Lizzie Martin. And from 7120 is David Demers. They're both here, and they have been working for over a year planning these events. So please be very kind to them. They've worked their butts off. They really have done an unbelievable job. And we have a program not only in pre-PETS, but in Syracuse plan that I think will really be very, very beneficial. What we're doing also this year to kick off before we get to the main meat of these sessions is we've asked some people to come in and talk about a little topics that we feel that are very important. And this evening, we're very fortunate to have our from 7120, a past district governor from the Greece Rotary Club, who's also our district international service chair. He's also our strategic planning committee chair, and just someone that is well known. And in fact, I don't want to really say this, but the reason that we have Magic and Rotary could be because of our next speaker, Bill Gourmand. Bill?
Hey, thank you very much, Ralph. And I want to thank Lizzie and everybody for inviting me to join tonight. You all are so lucky to have that opportunity to serve as a president for your club. And with that, there's a number of things. It's just not Rotary local, it's Rotary International. And we've got this parent organization in Evanston, Illinois. And so I think we're all aware of what they do, how they do it. And I want to try to make a connection tonight. I'm going to share a video, not a video, but a PowerPoint. What I'm going to chat tonight about is how RI's vision statement and their action plan actually can connect to your Rotary Club, because as a president-elect, that's kind of what you have to do. You want to enable the members of your club to be able to support your community while trying to advance Rotary International. And there's a number of things that are required for that. Back, oh boy, probably at this point about 10 years ago, our incoming president, Stephanie Urchik, she at the Rotary International level was tasked with creating a vision statement. And the vision statement that I think we've all seen, I hope we all have, looks like this. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Now, this vision statement she created took about 4 years to develop, and it was rolled out in 2017. So that said, it went beyond just this. They realized that there were a series of priorities and objectives that were really important for Rotary International, the members, and certainly the clubs to be able to embrace. Things like increasing our impact, expanding our reach, enhancing participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. If we all want Rotary to be available for our kids and our grandkids, it's really important to make sure that we breathe life back into Rotary and that Rotary experience embraces these things. So a lot of people will look at this and say, well, boy, something else we have to do? Well, yes, but actually, no.
We are people of action.
And when there's a challenge to confront, people of action come together and make a plan.
Even as we continue to help address global challenges, we're facing one of our own. When Rotary surveyed people around the world, we found a big gap between who we are as an organization today and who we need and want to be.
Our foundation is strong, but Rotary is ready to show that we can grow and become even stronger.
So we established our new action plan as a roadmap for how we can think differently, be more inclusive, and become a stronger, more effective Rotary.
The plan has 4 priorities. We're going to increase our impact because now more than ever, the world needs innovative planning and proved solutions. We'll be more data-driven, not just serving communities and doing good works, but measuring what we do so we can scale up our successes. And share more compelling stories about the good we do.
We will expand our reach by welcoming new people into Rotary and finding new ways to connect with people who share our commitment to making our communities and ourselves better. We'll enhance participant engagement by making sure everyone who connects with us gets even more out of their experiences than they put in.
And we'll increase our ability to adapt, because staying ahead of change while staying true to who we are is exactly how we make sure we have the staying power it takes to lead a new century of change.
Rotary's action plan is ambitious, but we can do it.
If we work together on new ways to think, plan, and take action, we will bring our communities and our organization to new heights.
Our legacy is in the making. Ready to do your part?
Let's show the world what it means to be people of action.
And that's really where the connection between the club and the Rotary worldwide, as it is advancing and moving forward. I wanted to review these connections here. What you'll see on the right-hand side are what you just heard about, the priorities and the objectives. For those clubs that have engaged in a strategic planning exercise, they've used the club health check, looking at 5 different elements within their club, looking at members, club experience, service and social, public image, and business and operations. And when people look at the priorities and objectives and say that that this is something else to do, it isn't really. It's just a matter of focus and really interpretation. So I want to take a look at just one of these and show you where that connection is. And as presidents-elect, once you get into that seat, and you can begin right now, you can start to take a look at your club, the things it's doing well, and find out where each of these things you're doing well or you want to do better at actually connect with these RI's priorities and objectives. And let's focus and take a peek at expand our image. Now, this is real information on the left-hand side of your screen. And from the club that did this, they said, gee, you know what? We'd like to inform and increase Rotary knowledge, sort of our intellectual opportunity here to understand more about it. If we do that, we'll understand more about the programs that are available, and that might just give us an opportunity to expand our reach. They also said that they wanted to make meetings more attractive and accessible. You know, people like to have fun. If they come to a meeting that's fun, they're learning things, and they're with friends and people that they really enjoy, that has a tendency to attract people and to actually retain them in membership, and allows us to expand our reach because we have more members in our club to advance those things we're doing in our community. What about service and social? You know, if we expand our service project opportunities and look for different ways to do things, we also then have that opportunity to, again, expand our reach, public image. If we take a look at increasing the internal and the external communication systems so that we are shouting from the rooftop the good things that we do, that will again expand our reach. Why? Because people know more about us and about what we do, because we as individuals actually wear Rotary. And then lastly, the business and operations. Does that expand our reach? You betcha. Because if you can take a look at the operations within your club and make sure that things are running smoothly, then you will be able to do things bigger, bolder, and better. Now that's just looking at expand our reach with this real live information on the left-hand side of the screen. But when you put that all together and try to connect all 4 of their priorities and objectives, look at this. You know, those of us that know first responders and Kevlar vests, if we were to take a Kevlar thread, just one thread, any one of us, we could take the thread, put it between our hands, snap it like a chicken bone. But when we weave that all together, much as this is doing, we make a fabric that would stop a projectile. So if that is in fact the case, and I believe that is in fact the case with this as well, when we can find the Rotary priorities and objectives and make connections to what we're doing within our club, the goals we want to achieve, the tasks that will allow us to do that, we have that opportunity to connect priorities and objectives to what we're doing within our club. You know, you can reach me simply by phone or by email. If you want to do that, you can whip your phone out, take a picture of the QR code here. If you have questions after tonight, I'd be delighted to take your call. All you have to do is contact me and I'm there to serve. Lizzie and everyone, I'm not sure if we have enough time, Ralph, to take a question or two. If so, great. If not, you all know how to reach me. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Bill, we're going to hold that to the end.
That's perfect. I'll be here.
Okay. Okay, well, my name is Dave Demers. I'm District Governor-elect 7120. As you can see, I'm going to introduce our 2 presenters today. The first is Leslie Vecchiotti. She's currently the District Secretary of District 7120. She's been in that position for about 18 months. She's a past president of the Palmyra Macedon Rotary, and she's been involved with training at the district level and a whiz at club runners. Our second presenter will be Lisa Jackson. She is the current president of the Schenectady Rotary in District 7190. She has been a past district governor aide, and she's been working in training in her district also about 4 to 5 years. And she's also a club runner whiz. So ladies, you have the floor.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dave. So Lisa is going to share her screen, and I just want to welcome everybody, all the presidents-elect, and hopefully some secretaries and other club executives.
Sorry, I didn't know it was going to open to the end.
Oh, so I'm going to start us out with just giving you an overview. Our focus is really on Club Runner, My Rotary, and Rotary Club Central. And I want to share with you this document that I created. Oh, can you go back?
Yep, got it right here.
Thank you. This document I created when I first became secretary because I was confused about those 3 different entities, because I just wasn't sure where to go. Everybody at some point. I'll probably bring hard copies of it to the to Syracuse so that you can pick it up there. And this for me just says, what kind of account do you need? Because you do need different accounts, different logins for Rotary Club Central and My Rotary, as compared to your club's club runner or district club runner. Those for district club runner and regular club runner, that's the same login and password. And then you have the same login and password for My Rotary and Rotary Club Central. when you might want to use these things and so on. I won't go into a lot of detail there for now, but this just really helped me to better organize where I needed to go to find the information I was looking for. Next one, Lisa. So our objectives in this short period of time is to make you all experts in My Rotary, creating a Rotary account. What's the difference between My Rotary and Rotary Club Central? And then to talk about Club Runner itself, access to it, and managing your executives in Club Runner, along with a few other things. Next. So as you can see, I hate reading off of my slides. I will let you read through those, and then I'll say a few things. So I love Lisa's term here that My Rotary is the mothership. You can actually access Rotary Club Central from My Rotary. A lot of information that is both public, anybody can access it, as well as members only areas. Every club in the world has access to this resource. You can find out a lot about membership. About the membership of your club, the membership across the world. It can also be used as a reporting tool for service projects and other work that you do. And a lot of member resources can be found here. So what I love about this is that you can view your member profile, but please keep in mind that any updates that you make need to be done in the district Club Runner database. Because if you make your changes in My Rotary, which is directly connected to RI, they won't also connect to Club Runner. So if you do it the other way around, making your changes in Club Runner, those will automatically update into RI. Again, I mentioned that you can access Rotary Club Central from here, get some different rosters and reports. You can view your club invoice, certainly based on what role you have, what executive role you have in your club. You can get into discussion forums. This is where you can view the Rotary Showcase. You can make contributions to the Rotary Foundation. You can set up a recurring donation here. You can look, when you look in your member profile, you can also look at the donations that you have made, the history of your donations, and what your donations are earmarked for. You can change the amount that you're donating each month. There's also information on from the Brand Center, where you can get logos and different templates to use for the work that you're doing. And there is an amazing learning center in My Rotary that has all sorts of great resources and step-by-step instructions and information about, everything Rotary.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm gonna take over here a little bit. So again, as Leslie mentioned, My Rotary is the membership database and resource center that's provided to us by Rotary International, and Rotarians across the world have access to it. And in fact, anyone around the world has access to all the information in there. But members have access to a member portal that's called My Rotary. And in order to access that portal, you need to have an account. So when you become a member of Rotary, our club secretary set you up with a membership ID and login information for Club Runner. But you're on your own to create your own My Rotary account. So to do that, you would navigate to Rotary.org. As you can see, there's a step-by-step guide here. You go to rotary.org, and on the top of the screen, you're going to choose to register your account. Or if you select My Rotary and it asks you for your ID and you don't have one, you can choose to register for an account. And it's asking you for very basic information, your first name, your last name, your email address, and then you move along. You could then create a password, and then once you're in there, you can log in with your username and password. But the most important part after you've created this account is to link yourself up to your own membership profile. Again, anyone around the world can go in here and create a username and a password, but that doesn't get them access to club information or your own member profile unless it's linked to your Rotary ID. So when it gets to the screen that says, what is your member status? It is very important to note that you're a current member of a Rotary Club. They're going to be looking that you created your account with an email that's associated with your Rotary account. So if you had a job 10 years ago, and that was the email you gave when when your club first put you into the system, and now you're not using that email anymore, you're only using your personal email, it may or may not find you. So it's really important to have access to the email that you were originally created a member with. And on that note, I would suggest that your club secretaries set members up with their personal email and not their work emails for the purposes of logging into this kind of information. Once you select that you're in a club, it will give you the selection so you can choose which club you're in, which Rotary district you're in. And then you should be able, when you sign in, to see your own member profile, your own club information. If you're not seeing that, then your club isn't associated with your membership. At that point, I would suggest you go back to your club secretary or open up a ticket with RI to make sure that that's resolved. Especially as a club officer, having access to My Rotary, but without being linked to your membership is kind of like hitting a brick wall. So please, you can even reach out. I'm sure Leslie could help, or I could help, or someone else, a secretary within your district could help you if you're unable to get past that point.
Right. And I just want to throw in, Lisa, that RI is so incredibly responsive. You can dial an 800 number, or maybe 866, I don't know, but an 800 number, and there's always a customer service person to answer, and they're very knowledgeable and, give you quick answers if you have problems with any of these things.
Absolutely. All right. So again, logging into My Rotary is as simple as going to rotary.org, selecting My Rotary from the top of the screen, or choosing sign in at the bottom, and then entering your username and your password and hitting go. From there, you'll be brought to your membership dashboard. And again, if you're not seeing this with your club data, this is where you need to call for help. So this is my screen. It greets me by name. I can see my club, where my club meets, which district I'm in. And going deeper into this, there's a lot more information here that's very specific to me. Again, my foundation donations, my Rotary resume, essentially every position that I've officially held through Rotary is listed there. It's actually a lot of really neat stuff. But right from this main page, there's 6 different sections you can jump to very quickly. Again, the brand center, the learning center, the Rotary Showcase, which is a list of Rotary projects, membership and foundation reports, the grant center, and of course, what we're going to focus on tonight is Rotary Club Central. And it's as easy as clicking one of these boxes and jumping right into that section. Individual members will have different access to these 6 portals, depending on what your role is within your club or district. So some of the things that I see might be different than what someone else sees, depending on how you're listed in My Rotary with your title. For instance, a club treasurer and a club secretary don't see the same things on their way through. All right, so this is just a quick overview of, if you choose the club administration button from the page before, some of the things you'll see in here are where to see your club invoice. I can see stuff about updating member data because of my club role, but you probably wouldn't see that. If you're a club secretary, you can see this about your insurance information, because every club has an insurance policy. So there's a lot of interesting things here about managing your club. some of these items, such as your club name and where you meet, should actually be updated in Club Runner. View it here, don't make changes. My Rotary is a great place to take information out, but it is not where we're entering data in.
So that happens in Rotary Club Central. And Rotary Club Central, again, as Lisa said, it's very easy to get to from My Rotary. You can view your membership data and demographics. You can enter goals, which I know is an important task that all of the presidents-elect are going to be working on in over the next few months. You can also see Rotary Foundation recognition reports, other reports of club information as well. And this is the dashboard, again, that you will see when you first come in, or actually it has changed and gone directly to goals. Isn't that right, Lisa?
Yeah, this is
With
what you see
Rotary
now when you come
Central?
in. This is
Okay.
the new page.
Okay, perfect. Yes, because you'll notice what Bill Gormont was talking about, those 4 priorities: enhance participant engagement, increase our impact, expand our reach, increase our ability to adapt. Please don't make the mistake I did when I was a president-elect, and I didn't realize that there were more than one category where I had to fill in club goals. And so I only ended up initially doing the first category and then thought I was done. There are 4 categories that you need to add goals to, and each of those categories has multiple goals that you'll be looking at. And then always, if you go to the next slide, Lisa. Oops, it's not on this slide. So I will get to that. Oh, okay. I was going to say always save. You'll see that. Don't forget to save. You might even want to save after you've entered each goal individually, just in case you're that person who gets down to the end and that save button is no longer visible because you've scrolled all the way down to the end of the page. You might want to save more often. You want to make sure as presidents-elect that you are selecting your president year from that 23-24 there. You can just click the arrow buttons to the next year, because that's the only way that you will have access to adding your goals. Let me see, I'm just looking at these other little notes on here. Okay. You can also add other club executives, which are going to be important too, but make sure that you are listed there as the 24-25 president, so that you're able to enter your goals. You'll notice over on in the menu on the left-hand side that there are several other things that you can do in Rotary Club Central. There are lots of great resources, and in fact, under resources, you have access to the Rotary citation and its goals, and several other resources such as membership resources, young leader resources, service, foundation giving, and public image. Those are all, it's amazing how much information there is out there if you just put in a search or look in these resources or check the Learning Center. There are all sorts of how-to guides and step-by-steps for things that you're trying to figure out. And the last one there, Lisa, or number 14. You also can add your service projects in Rotary Club Central. You'll see that under service activities on the left-hand menu. And those projects are added into the Rotary Showcase. They're actually not added in Rotary Club Central. You can click on that blue button though, and it'll take you to the Rotary Showcase where you can both view activities and service projects that that other clubs have done, as well as add your own. And finally, I think Lisa was on this page momentarily, that this is just a list of some of the resources that you can find. Don't skip over it. There's lots of information, as I said. Lisa?
Excellent. Thank you, Leslie. And one of the things that I think people might wonder is, what's the point of the goals? Why are we entering them? What's the big deal? Why do we spend so much time talking about this? And I think it's just something that we should probably touch on real quickly, is that entering goals in my Rotary isn't just because our district says we have to. It's really there as a process for you to start working with your club and your board to really start thinking about making a plan for your coming president's year. And looking at the different goals that Rotary lays out there for us, and I think there's like 26 of them, and discussing that with your club really helps you set your roadmap for the year ahead. And then entering in your expectations for yourself really helps to keep you and your club accountable as you move forward. It also provides metrics for RI. And in their new dashboard, you can actually compare the number of clubs and districts that are entering in goals in each of the different categories worldwide, and how many of them are actually getting accomplished as the year goes on. So please look at this as a tool and not just a task. I think that's really important to help use it as a planning tool. And of course,
Right.
when you enter in, I think at least 13 of the goals and accomplish your goals, then your club becomes eligible for a citation, which is actually a recognition from Rotary International. And your goals don't have to be lofty. I mean, they really just need to be a guide for you and your club. So you don't want to say you're going to raise $10,000 for the foundation when your club has a history of raising $2 million. But if you say you're going to raise $2,500 and you achieve that, that's a worthy achievement. And this is, again, kind of a way for RI to kind of get a sense for their own planning, because they're seeing what each club is saying they're going to raise, or saying what they think their membership is going to be. And it's giving you a purpose to move forward to create procedures in your club to try to achieve these things. So I think that's just a really important fact. It's not just about a tool.
Lisa, can I add one more thing to that?
Absolutely.
Don't try to come up with your goals in isolation. Your goals, as Lisa mentioned, they really you should have your board involved. And if not the entire board, at least the current president, so that you can take a look at the current goals and what's been achieved and what hasn't, and base your new goals off of that.
Right.
So these are really your club's goals. They're not just your goals as president.
Agreed. All right. So the second part of what we're going to discuss with you guys today is Club Runner. So where my Rotary is a membership portal within Rotary International, and that every Rotarian across the world has access to that. Club Runner is a secondary software that our district chooses to use. And Club Runner, you kind of want to look at it as a portal into my Rotary. It is a membership database, and it's there as an add-on to my Rotary. It's a tool that helps us manage our membership, but it also goes a step forward and does more for us than my Rotary does by itself. So in this district database, this is where we're going to add, edit, and delete club members. This is where we're assigning our club executives. This is where we sync our membership back and forth with Rotary International. Members can actually log in and update their own information in here, or they can share their information with club secretaries to have it updated that way. It can be used to create membership directories, newsletters, websites, bulk email communications, and event management. Some of these tools might be available to you. Some of them might not, depending on whether or not your club is using a district version of Club Runner or a club version of Club Runner. So things like creating membership directories and newsletters and websites are available for the district on the district version, but not a club who's using the district version. but they are available for a club that's paying for their own subscription of Club Runner. So you may or may not have access to everything, but at the minimum, you will edit and delete members. You will assign your club executives in here. And this is the only place where you should be entering in that information. So I think it's really important to note that Club Runner has an app for both Android and iPhones. And if you take just 2 seconds right now, this would be the ideal time to scan that QR code and download the app onto your phone. While you won't be managing data in here, what it does do is it puts the entire district directory in your pocket. When was the last time you thought, I need to call a committee meeting and I don't have everybody's phone numbers? I need to email so-and-so, but I don't have their number. I'm running late to the service project. I need to call someone, but I don't have their phone number. Having this app in your pocket gets rid of all of that stress. So if everyone wants to just take 30 seconds, scan the QR code, this is the perfect time to add Club Runner to your phone. If that's not something you're able to do right now, on your leisure, you can certainly go into the App Store or Google Play and just type in Club Runner, and you will be looking for this blue and white CR logo to download it. In order to access the information, you will need your Club Runner login and password. If you don't know your login user ID, which may or may not be your email, you can either contact your club secretary, or if you're in 7190, you can contact me and I can hook you up. And I would imagine, Leslie, can you help for 7120?
Sure.
And I'm sure that there's other club secretaries or district secretaries that can help with that. If you know your username but forgot your password, just hit the forgot password button. It'll send you a link so you can reset your password. So I think that's a really an incredible resource to have. Next time someone says, wow, someone really, needs to put out a new club directory. We haven't had one in 5 years. You don't need it anymore. You just need this app. So again, the big question is where do I enter data? It's really important that all data, membership, ads, change, and updates, and executives are always entered in Club Runner and pushed to Rotary. Any changes that are made on the My Rotary side don't always sync back to Club Runner. So always encourage all changes to be made in Club Runner and push in one direction. And the reason
there's
for
nothing.
that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's nothing that they need to do to push that information to Rotary International. It'll sync unless you get an email from Rotary International saying something isn't syncing for a particular member.
And there are sync reports that you can run to see what's out of sync and see what you need to change. And you do need to address those because what can end up happening is you could end up with people on your membership list more than once if it's not sunk up. And that affects your invoice. So you definitely want to get these things cleaned. So anyway, always enter your data in Club Runner, push it to My Rotary. So then the big question, what is Club Runner and where do I find it? I don't have an app on my computer called Club Runner. Where is it? And the answer for that is from our district websites. And I can speak for 7190 when I say that our website is rotary7190.org. And that website is powered by Club Runner. And the top right-hand corner of the screen, as you'll see by this orange box, says member login. That's it. That's where you're logging into Club Runner. And I believe the other districts work the same way. Their website names will be different, but you want to go to your district website and then just choose the member login information. Again, you do need your username and your password to get in there. I guess if you don't have your username, you could try the forgot username button, but that only works if you still have access to the email that you were entered into Club Runner with. So again, if you don't have that information, please see your club secretary or one of your district secretaries to help you with that. If all you forgot was your password, hit the forgot password button and they'll send you a reset. So once you're into Club Runner, Leslie, that's you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. So once you're in Club Runner, then you're going to click on For Clubs, right where it says there. And that's where you're going to be able to see your club lists. You can, your rosters. You can click on individuals to get to their profiles if you need to make some changes, or if your secretary needs to make changes. You can also define your club executives there. When you click on for clubs, you'll get a new list below that where you can see the define club executives, and make sure that your own club is showing up under club executives and directors. Be sure to select the appropriate year that these club executives will be in place. And then it's simply clicking edit. You'll get a drop down box of members, and you just click on the member that you want in that particular position. You can also carry over to the next year. You can carry over positions that you've already input, and then do whatever you need to do to change the member name who will be in that position. You can also add new positions if you want. If your club has a special position that is just your club's, you know, you can throw that in there, and you can add the person who is responsible for that. You can add all sorts of committees, foundation chair, some of those district positions, or I'm sorry, not district positions, but club positions that for whom emails go out. If you don't have a person listed as foundation chair, then if an email goes out to all foundation chairs from me, for example, from district, then your foundation chair will not get that email because of the way the Club Runner email system is set up at the district level. So, because all I do is I click on foundation chairs, and anybody who's listed there will get the email, but if they're not, they won't. So please make sure you put any executives that you have, chair people, in this list of club executives and directors. It's a real helpful thing.
Absolutely. It's really, like, I'm just going to reiterate again, it's really important that club executives are defined early, as soon as you have the information. For instance, you know, it's only December, January, February right now, and we're doing all this president-elect training. Well, our president-elects won't know about it if they're not listed in Club Runner as a president-elect.
Right.
And, you know, if you don't have them in there for next year's president, they're not going to get all of these updates and changes. Your treasurer, if they're not listed in there as a treasurer, they're not getting your dues invoice. So you might be wondering, well, why am I getting all these notifications that our invoice wasn't paid? Well, did your treasurer receive it? See, it's really important that this stuff is updated. At a minimum, you need to have your president, president-elect, secretary, treasurer, and foundation chair in Club Runner. Everything else, you can certainly add extras as your club has defined for its board. But those 5 have to be in there. A PR chair, I think, is also one that's highly suggested.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And one more, managing the club executives. On this page, it's, as I said, it's very easy. If you need to delete somebody, let's say somebody ends up moving who was your vice president, you can just click on delete next to that person's name and put in the new person who is taking over that role. Very simple.
Right. So one of the biggest things I've seen at PETS training the last number of years is presidents or presidents-elect that show up to the tech lab. And we try to go over entering goals in My Rotary, and they sign in, they have their My Rotary account, they get to the goals, and they say, I can't make any changes. I'm stuck. I can't do anything. And 9 times out of 10, the reason is nobody ever listed them as the president-elect or next year's president in Club Runner. And they can't do that themselves. It's really important that, you know, your club secretary or whomever is managing your club executives is getting that done before PETS.
Right. The other issue that we've discovered with a couple of people here in 7120 is that a president-elect didn't have the correct clearance for Club Runner. So you need, I believe, a 70, a
the
70
member
or
type.
or a 50, the member type. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And she, because she had the wrong one, she, even though she was listed as president-elect, she couldn't get in. So just if you have any problems getting into your goals and editing, please just contact somebody, you know, Lisa or me or your district secretary, and I'm sure they'll figure out the problem. Oh, one last thing that I wanted to add, Lisa, is that we just asked, both Lisa and I will be at PETS in March, and we'll both be in the tech lab. And we just ask that you look through this work, look through these sites before you come to PETS. So that way, if you have specific questions, if you tried to do something and couldn't figure it out, you know, you can come to us with those specific questions. Make sure you can log in and actually get to where you need to go. Sometimes we get questions in the tech lab at PETS that are just, I don't know how to log in. I don't know what to do. The more you can come prepared with some questions and to the tech lab, the better we'll be able to help you.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure that this presentation, which actually works as a step-by-step how-to, is sent to everyone. I'm sure we could get a PDF emailed.
Yes, absolutely.
So I know it's not the most exciting topic in the world, but it is a really important one for club management. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Lisa, there is a question in chat from Angela, who says, my club runner says that my PE status can only be added at the district level. Does that mean her secretary is not changing things correctly? Or is that something she should follow up with afterwards?
I have never seen that before. Is
No,
there
I
anyone
haven't
here from 7170 with district level access?
I am. Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. When I go into it, it lists president-elect, but it's grayed out and says it must be added by the district level.
Wow.
Huh. I've never heard of that, but
No.
let me look into it tonight and I'll follow up with you, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Great.
Wendy. There's always something new.
Oh, yeah.
Esther would like to know, should they have their goals identified before PETS weekend?
I guess I have a question before I answer that, and that's, I know in the past, with some of our districts, we were required to have goals in to be eligible for district grants. Is that still a thing? And I guess I would defer to Lizzie as to whether or not goals need to be in by PETS.
It's not necessarily a deadline related to PETS, but for any of the clubs in CNY, and I put this in the chat, it will be a requirement to qualify to apply for a district grant that you have your goals in Rotary Club Central and your club executives in Club Runner. And that would essentially need to be done by the grants deadline, which will be June 1st.
I should also note that we'd be happy to help you enter goals at the Tech Lab in March, just for the sake of helping you walk through it. But goals can be changed at any time. So if you want to even put in some placeholder goals and then go back and discuss it with your club, they can always be edited.
Absolutely.
And just a reminder too, for the Tech Lab, you need to bring your own device. So bring your laptop or tablet. And hopefully that's helpful too. And especially if you're having any password issues, you'll be on your device. Hopefully you could save your password and it'll be easy for you every time.
It will
Great.
work on a
Thank you,
phone. It's
Lizzie.
just not as easy.
No, not at all.
Trying to read the chat here. Somebody
Yes,
else
I
keeping
saw a
up on
couple
it.
more questions.
About if a member accidentally puts data directly into RI and it doesn't migrate down to Club Runner, how is that rectified? Do you need to contact somebody at RI or from somebody with the district? What should somebody do?
Thank you, Fred, for asking that fabulous question.
That is a very
And
good
that does
question.
happen, and it happens quite often. So the first step would be, well, for starters, if there's a disconnect, often the club secretary will receive an email stating as such. The other thing that can happen is that the club secretary or whomever in your club is managing your club runner can run what's called a member sync, and there's also an executive sync, which actually brings up a report of all of the members and or officer positions that are synced appropriately with Rotary International. And it will make a separate list of those that are not. Oftentimes it'll say, hey, this is the name we have for so-and-so in Club Runner, and this is the name we have in RI. Which one do you want to accept? And at that point within Club Runner, you can choose, if someone is listed as Dave Smith, but then they're David Smith in the other system, you can choose which one is right and move forward. But that can depend on the nature of the change. And some of those can be resolved that quickly, and some of them involve sending a data support note to RI. And there is an email, I think there's an email address. I think it's data support at rotary.org. I gotta look. There's an email address that's not hard to find. I just need to hunt it out, where you can open up a ticket and they'll resolve those for you. But don't ignore them. They're easily resolved, sometimes with an email, but often using the sync and compare that's right in Club Runner. Should the secretaries run the sync a few times a year? I'd actually run it more often than that. To be quite honest, I would run it probably at least once a month, because if you're not adding and editing data, you would think that everything's fine, but all it takes is one member to go into my Rotary and go, oh, this is really cool. Oh, wait, that's not my email anymore. Or, oh, they spelled my name wrong, and update their own information in my Rotary because they can, even though they shouldn't. So yes, you should run it more frequently than a couple times a year.
And I think it's important here to just ask presidents-elect and even current presidents, just make sure that your secretaries know that they might get these emails about sync issues and not to ignore those. And if they need help figuring it out, some of those sync issues are difficult. I've had difficulty trying to figure out what to do and how to rectify them. So if they have any problems at all with that, have them talk to the district secretary and hopefully they can figure it out.
Not a bad idea. The one time, well, twice a year that you should absolutely be doing that is before invoices come out. In May and in November, you want to make sure that those lists are all up to date, that your membership list is only showing the people that are actively members, and that you don't have people in there more than once, because then your invoice will be wrong.
Yeah.
So at a minimum then. All right, how do you know if you have access to the newsletter and website creation? Because if you click on it, it'll work. That's the best I can tell you. Or I would ask your club if they're paying for club level Club Runner, because they will be paying for that subscription. Somebody in there will know.
Right. And the subscriptions are not, I guess this is my own perspective, but the subscriptions are not that costly. It is based on the number of members that you have. I think my club, which has about 30 members, maybe 32, pays for a little over $400 a year for our own Club Runner account, where we can have a website, we can have a newsletter. We're happy to pay that.
Can you print a membership directory from Club Runner? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
It's not pretty, but yes, you can.
Right.
If the district can print district versions of the directory, and if you're in the club, you can't print the directory, but you can, they do have a reporting module in there, and you can choose to export an Excel document with your member directory, and you can choose which fields you want to include on that.
Right. The one thing that I don't like about printing the member directory is I like to use it as a checklist, but there's no way to format it when you do it from Club Runner. So if you do it from a report, as Lisa's talking about, then it comes out as an Excel spreadsheet, and you can then manipulate it a little bit better.
Yep. It's a fairly self-explanatory process, but I would be happy to do one-on-ones with anyone who wants to walk through that.
And me too. Yep.
There was a question about if they had forgotten a password or trying to get the password to reset. I believe that both websites have a forgot my password link, don't they?
Yes.
They do. But that only helps if you still have access to the email that it's sending it to. So on that note, running the directory or the membership list out of Club Runner and passing it around your club one day at a meeting and having everyone verify their email address is not the worst idea. You can also pull down everybody's Club Runner login name and make sure that people have it. It's, most people, I don't know how everyone else's club does it. When we enter in a new member on day one, we send them an email with their username and password. But I would bet that most people who don't log in have no idea where that information is at this point.
Right.
But that is something you can look up as a president or a secretary.
Lisa, I think there's a typo in your email that you put in the chat.
Oh, yep, 1 R, not 2. Sorry. Thank you for checking.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We're going to wrap up because we're running out of time, and we just have a few final announcements for you. If you do have any other questions, throw them in the chat, and then we can stay late if needed. But I do want to thank our presenters tonight, Lisa and Leslie. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. It is such important information because this is really how we connect and communicate with each other at the district and RI level. So I appreciate all that you're doing, and I hope that everyone had takeaways from tonight. There's still a lot more training opportunities coming up. We have our in-person weekend in Syracuse, March 15th through the 17th, and it might seem like that means you have a lot of time to register, but please know the hotel room block ends next Tuesday, February 13th. Yes, you could.
Lisa, I did get that extended 1 week.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess you get 1 more week's reprieve. But when the room blocks up, we can no longer guarantee space or that low rate that we arranged for you, $140 a night. So just make sure you don't procrastinate on that. You can go to Rotary Empire MDPETS.org for the hotel reservation link. Make sure you modify your dates of your hotel stay before you book it. And then also make sure you register to attend. Your club has already paid for you to go, but we still need you to register so that we know you're coming. Our next virtual session, yeah, Ralph.
Just real quick on the hotel. I know some people have had a hard time with the link to the website for the DoubleTree. Look up, just Google the DoubleTree in Syracuse and give the hotel a direct call. It is much simpler. It'll save you a lot of hassles if you're having a problem with the website. Just call the hotel directly. The room block is under Empire MDPETS, Empire Multi-District Pets, and they'll be able to take care of you.
Ralph, I believe I have the hotel phone number right on our website.
Okay, perfect.
Our next virtual session will be next Tuesday, February 13th at 7 p.m. in this exact same Zoom room, same Zoom link. And we're going to be going over how to build a budget and talking about Rotary's insurance policy. So think about who in your club that might also be relevant for, and feel free to invite them. Also, don't forget, scroll back up in the chat to get the link to submit your questions for our DEI and our mental health breakouts. We'll share that every week. But if you want to just open it up so you have access to it, that would be great. I also want to take this last minute to recognize our sponsors for this year's PETS training, Haran Insurance and Best Travel Partners, which are both Rotarians. Haran Insurance offers business and personal policies for whatever you need insured, and they're an independent agency, so they can shop around to get you the best rate. Their entire office is friendly, responsive, and cares, which is why they have 5 stars on Google. You can visit them online at haraninsured.com or stop into their brand new office at 63 East Genesee Street in Baldwinsville. Best Travel Partners will spoil you with the highest quality, most personalized travel service available. Whether you want to relax at an all-inclusive resort, sail away on a cruise, plan a dream Disney vacation, or check a destination off your bucket list, a luxury vacation should start with a luxury planning experience. Visit besttravelpartners.com to get started or plan to speak with Rotarian Ann Demirs at our in-person weekend next month. Finally, I want you to take a moment, if you're on Facebook, if you're on social media, follow Empire Multi-District Pets. That's where you'll see when we post our recordings of these sessions, as well as helpful reminders and tips to help you prepare to lead. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again next week, and take care.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. If I could ask Lizzie, Dave, and Deb and Norma just to stay on for a moment. Denise, we won't be long.
Thank you, everyone. This is great. Thank